What up? What's happening? It's your boy Wall Street, and I'm back. I got more NBA news for you. De'Aaron Fox and the San Antonio Spurs have agreed to a 4-year, $229 million max contract extension that will allow him to now stay with the Spurs under contract until the 2029-2030 season, or I should say through the 2029-2030 season. So this is a big move. I mean, me personally, I did think this was something that would happen. I didn't think De'Aaron Fox was just going to the Spurs so that he could leave after next season. As it, stood before today, with this news being announced, he was scheduled to be a free agent at the end of the 2025-26 NBA season. He's getting paid $37 million this coming season. And now the Spurs have a little bit more security, knowing that their, point guard of the future is there to stay. So I think this makes a lot of sense. I thought they kind of pulled off a steal when they got De'Aaron Fox in February of this past year. At the trade deadline, I believe it was a 3-team deal. So it's definitely good. I think this thing that I'm still confused about, though, is the fact that you now have Dylan Harper, who was the 2nd overall pick in this past year's draft. You have Stephon Castle, who was the 4th overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft. And they're both big point guards, the three of them, right? They're all like, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", and they can all play the one spot. So I'm a little, concerned to see how it's going to work out. I would imagine when you pick guys in the top 4 in the draft, they don't really want to be coming off the bench. And it doesn't seem like you're going to play all 3 of them and have one of them slotted at the 3 spot. Like, I just don't think that's what's going to happen either, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? The ESPN projected depth chart right now has De'Aaron Fox starting at the point guard slot, Dylan Harper starting at the 2, Devin Vassell starting at the 3, Harrison Barnes at the 4, and Victor Wembanyama, aka my boy Wet Bananas, at the 5. And Stephon Castle is the first shooting guard off the bench. He is the 2nd point guard off the bench after Jordan McLaughlin. But, we all know how ESPN depth charts work. They're not necessarily, exactly how it pans out, right? It changes once the season starts. Jordan McLaughlin is not getting more minutes than Stephon Castle. That's just a fact, right? I'll tell you that right now. You can bet all of your money. I guarantee you Stephon Castle is going to get more minutes than Jordan McLaughlin. But realistically, this team is very good, right? I like the talent base that they have. I just don't really know how well they're going to be able to compete in the West, right? But this upcoming season is going to be a really good year to use as a measuring stick, if you will, because we're going to be able to see, like, okay, how does Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama, Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, how do all of those guys fare with one another in the Western Conference when they're all healthy, right? And, I'm hoping that Victor Wembanyama is going to be healthy to start the NBA season. Obviously, it was just awful. Got shut down because of the deep vein thrombosis, the blood clot issue. And I think that was in February. It was like shortly after they acquired De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama got shut down. So I just hope we get to see a full season of De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama, because I think, honestly, even though De'Aaron Fox is not the best three-point shooter, he's not a bad three-point shooter in my opinion. He's more of a driver. He's more of a guy that draws a lot of attention once he gets into the paint. He's great with floaters, mid-range shots, easy buckets around the cup, all that stuff. But it's going to be interesting to see how he plays with Wemby, because Wemby, honestly, is more versatile than De'Aaron Fox is, right? Wemby can stretch the floor a lot. He can shoot threes, and he can shoot over everybody and their mother. So there's so much variability for how this team could fare, right? I honestly can't tell you where they're going to end up. I think they're either going to end up being like a top 6 seed, or they're going to miss the play-in by just a little bit, right? It really depends. But I think if this team is really healthy, like there's no reason why they should even have to get into the playoffs via the play-in tournament. I think they're good enough on paper to make it into the playoffs outright without having to qualify via the play-in, right? Like I'm putting them, honestly, over a handful of teams, right? They're obviously still better than the Blazers and, some other teams that, finished in the lower end of the conference. But the Blazers, the Pelicans, are they better than the Grizzlies? Are they better than the Warriors? Like, these are the questions we're going to have to find out. And I think we'll start to get a better idea once the season gets a little bit closer and training camp starts. But, there's a lot that could happen. I think if they get a really good start to the season, it's going to be a wrap if everyone stays healthy. Like, if they start out the season going 10-2 or even 10-5, like, I think they're going to be a lock for the playoffs, right? But we saw how the Western Conference ended up last season. It was very tough, very competitive. I think the 2 through 7 or the 2 through 5 were separated by a game. So it's going to be tough again, right? It's not going to be a cakewalk. They're going to really have to prove themselves. But this is a young team. And even if they don't qualify for the playoffs this season, they're now set up with De'Aaron Fox under contract to really, make some stuff happen over the next couple of years, right? You have Devin Vassell under contract until the summer of 2029. You have Keldon Johnson under contract until the summer of 2027. A lot of people are saying he's probably going to get moved. We'll have to see what happens. You got Wemby still on a rookie deal. You got Dylan Harper now under contract on a rookie deal. You have Stephon Castle under contract on a couple more years on a rookie deal. Like, they have money to play with too. Like, that's the thing, is they don't have a lot of dudes under cap for next season. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But De'Aaron Fox staying with the Spurs. Last season with the Spurs, played 17 games, 19.7 points per game. And it's gonna be an adventure. So let me know what you guys think about the Spurs going into next season. What do you think about this move? What do you think about De'Aaron Fox staying there long term and locking in with the Spurs? I want to hear your thoughts. Leave some comments down below, and I'm gonna check you guys later, man. Stay up, stay blessed, stay safe, stay humble, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.